You basically built this company to $500,000 in MRR without taking $1 of VC funding.
I did. This was like 3 or 4 months of stress, everyone shouting at me, the investors, the customers, all of that. And then me being scared that there's no future. So I realized like, hey, maybe there's like something more interesting I can do. I started seeing like people doing like the indie hacker stuff. I started doing like some random projects. Chatbase is not my first like attempt at building something. I had like 6 or 7 other things that all of them flopped. But you learn like how to build something, push it to production, market it without like paying any money. So now my plan is...
If you've ever wanted to work at a startup, we just put out a new program where we're connecting everyone who listens to this podcast and just broadly are in our network to a lot of the companies in our ecosystem. So if you're a developer or a growth hacker or a designer or you vibe code on the weekends, there's a link in the description that you should fill out and we'll connect you with a company that might be hiring. Yasser, welcome to the podcast, man.
Omar, thanks for having me.
So you've been in SF for what is it, 2 weeks now?
2 weeks now, yeah.
How's it been?
It's amazing. Like I know people say everything is in SF. A lot of people here. I imagined that I know what SF is like, but when I came here, it's crazy. Like in the first 3 days, I would say I met like 20, 30 like crazy, impressive founders, big companies, like publicly traded companies, found like 19-year-old founders that are building amazing companies. So yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a place like that before. Yeah.
And what made you come out in the first place?
So I live in Toronto. Stripe have the Stripe session event.
Yeah,
so they invited me.
Nice.
And then I was considering moving to SF to like build Chatbase more.
Yeah.
I think it would be beneficial if I'm here. So yeah, I came for 3 days for Stripe sessions and then I extended my stay to see if I like it or not. But so far, I think I like it.
So far you like it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Chatbase, right? Because you basically built this company to $500,000 in MRR without taking $1 of VC funding.
I did.
Did you know that that was like the path you were going down, or did it start as a side project? Like what was the initial inspiration behind it?
No, like initial inspiration was Peter Levels, to be honest. Like
Nice.
I saw people on X, like the indie hacker movement.
Yeah.
I was maybe like 2021.
Okay.
It was very popular. And I saw like, hey, like these people are making like 10K a month, 20K a month from Bali on their laptop.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not doing that? And like, I think the good thing about the indie hacker like movement or like the community is that they don't make it seem like it's so complicated. Like I feel like it's inviting for new like developers. They just say like you can ship something in like a week. So I thought like, hey, like if these guys can do it, I can do it. So I started with the goal of just like getting to 10K MRR and like living in Bali. But then like, yeah, with Chatbase, it grew very quickly. And then like when I saw the growth, when I saw like customers, when I saw the traction, it was very exciting. So I just like continued.
And what was like the V0 of like, what was the first one-liner of like the problem you were trying to solve with Chatbase?
Yeah, so I'll tell you like the backstory. So I was in my last year of university, 4th year. I was doing internships. So I did an internship in SF and one in Seattle. So I was like doing the whole FAANG thing with like lead code because that's what everyone does.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, like Waterloo specifically, it's Cali or bust. And we have like the same culture all over Canada. So people wanted to come work at like big tech companies and that was the goal. So I was optimizing for that during like my 3 years in university. But then when I did the internships, I realized like, hey, maybe there's like something more interesting I can do. So I started seeing like people doing like the indie hacker stuff. I started doing like some random projects. So Chatbase is not my first like attempt at building something. I had like 6 or 7 other things that all of them flopped. But you learn like how to build something, push it to production, like market it without like paying any money, and all of that. And all of that was beneficial when it came time to build Chatbase. So yeah, like in my final year of university, I decided like, hey, I don't want to do all this FAANG stuff. I want to build something on my own, and I think I can do it. And I was like, OpenAI was like starting to pop. I mean, GPT-3.
So
I remember like
2023?
Da Vinci. Yeah, like No, actually 2022, yeah. So I started like playing around with like the OpenAI models. Like I was on the Discord, I was on the Reddit groups. I learned like what you can do with the OpenAI models. Like everyone was doing the SEO stuff or like blog posts and stuff like that. But then I saw, because I was like very like active in these communities, I saw something popping out called like vector databases, and like you can build like a GPT-3 thingy, but for your data.
Yeah, you fine tune or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, like it was, when I saw that, like it was very obvious that this is becoming a thing. And then like ChatGPT, not the API, but the ChatGPT itself was launched, and it was popping, and like people were using it, and like my friends from school that are not even technical were using it. So I just saw like if this is working, people are liking it. Imagine if you can do this for your own data. So this was the V0. V0, I think Chatbase was the first chat with PDF SaaS.
Interesting.
Ever.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because like I saw other people doing it like in the terminal, like tutorials on how to do it technically, but there was no product where you can like upload a PDF or upload a piece of document and like chat with it.
And it does feel like a lot of like winning products that end up doing really well from a revenue or like adoption perspective start off as like you take a really technical concept and then you just make it super accessible to everyone. Like the GPT-3 playground had existed for a really long time. Like I would do my homework and I'd like use it for like to teach me the concepts because I wouldn't go to lectures before ChatGPT was a thing. But suddenly once they just threw it into a chat UI, everyone was using it. Even like, if you look at Lexica or Musicfy or some of the other companies in the space that took like, models and then just built new front ends around them, they ended up doing much better than, anyone else that was just creating tutorials on how to use the models directly. But did you know that, this was going to go from 0 to 500K MRR, or how did you?
Oh, of course not.
How did you start marketing it?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it was just like upload a PDF and talk with it. So my other projects, the stuff that I did before Chatbase, most of them were for students because I was a university student, so I was solving my problems. I had one called Rate My Courses.
Oh, nice.
I had one called EssayPal, that like it's an AI. It's just one call to ChatGPT to help you write essays.
Nice.
So I thought I'm gonna do like upload a textbook and then like ask it questions that you like for your homework, and then like get answers from the textbook so you can like answer your homework. And like I was gonna market it to students, but then I realized like those like students don't have money, so what's the point of building a business for them? Of course, like if you can do stuff, but it has to be like much bigger to achieve like similar revenue.
Which is something a lot of people learn, right? They start building something for like themselves, like they try solving their own problem and they realize like, oh, actually 9 out of 10 times, if I just solve this problem for myself, I'll never be able to turn this into a sustainable business.
Exactly. So yeah, in the beginning, it was just like a tool for students to upload a textbook or like upload basically anything and like ask it questions. So in the beginning, I marketed it by just going to like subreddits of books, like self-help books, and then say, guys, like, hey, I created this.
Reddit
like,
is
cool
overpowered,
tool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you have to do some stuff not to get banned, but if you like figure out how to market on Reddit, it's crazy, because I went to all like the subreddits of books and then post the same thing, like, hey guys, I created this cool tool.
So you were just promoting. You were basically just spamming.
Yeah, exactly, just spamming. And I was losing money on this, but the goal was to get people to open up my domain. So like I rank higher for SEO. Like people know the word Chatbase, but it was just like a chatbot, just like a one-page chatbot, like a ChatGPT interface, but for the book these people were interested in.
I see.
And then I started doing it for influencers. I did it for like YouTubers. So I would get all the transcript, put it into like a RAG system.
Oh, I see.
And then I would like go to the subreddit or like all the groups.
So there was like the search MFM. Or
yeah,
MFM.
exactly. Yeah. So all of that. So some people did it for like specific podcasts or like
you
specific.
Just created that.
I just like created Chatbase, and then like Chatbase / like MFM. This is the MFM chatbot. And then I will post it on the MFM subreddit.
You were basically just hijacking existing communities.
Exactly. And then like it's free. Like I didn't have a pricing page or anything.
Oh.
It's just like a one.
You were just burning money on AI costs.
I was, like I didn't have any money to burn. So I was, I mean, I don't know how I survived this, but I think I spent maybe like 5K on like this like API costs
Interesting.
for just to get my domain opened.
And like, we'll talk about this like in a bit, but this is a lot of the reason why people make the case for taking VC money, even though you completely bootstrapped and you never took any VC money.
Yeah, I did.
And so like, at what point did you realize like, oh, I need to start charging for this?
When I reached $5,000, I had to, because I didn't have any money. But like, I knew that like, if people are using it, I mean, I can just put a pricing page, but I knew like if I put a price, because I learned from my other products, like you can't put a pricing page on something and then post it on Reddit because you're gonna get banned.
Oh.
So like something I would do, I would like, in the early days of Chatbase, I would have like a pricing page, but when I post the link on Reddit, I would add like the ref equal
UTM,
Reddit, the UTM reference Reddit, so that in my code I would say like if reference is Reddit,
no
just
page.
hide the pricing page.
That's so interesting.
So like people wouldn't know that this is a paid for product and it's just like a fun tool to use so to get upvotes. People would, and like I'm not even charging them. It's like for free. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And then people would open the domain. People would send it to their friends. I did this for like the Paul Graham essays. I did it for Naval's book and all of his tweets. And I would just post it on like Reddit, Twitter, like anything I can post it on.
But then how do you go from that? Because that doesn't scale to enterprise like focused like products, right? So how do you go from that to then selling to businesses?
So when I realized that I posted this on, like I did all of this before the ChatGPT API was launched. Like all of this was with like DaVinci, the GPT-3 API, which was not good compared to like what we have now. But when OpenAI released their API, I think like 3 months maybe after ChatGPT was launched, then like ChatGPT blew up on Twitter because now you can like build startups with it, right? And I already had like something built because I started doing it for like maybe 4 or 5 months before the release of the API. So I just like posted on my X to like 16 followers, hey, I've been like hacking with the new ChatGPT API for the last 48 hours. And now you can have ChatGPT, which everyone was using, but for your data.
Very understandable.
And this I had 16 followers. It got like 1.5 or 1.6 thousand likes from nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did that translate to revenue?
So it didn't in the beginning. I still didn't have my pricing page.
Naturally.
Yeah. But then when I saw that and so people on Twitter are not students, they're business owners. Mm-hmm. So they kept asking me like, hey, I want to put this on my website because people are asking me the same question and I want an AI to answer them. And those people were willing to pay money, not the students, like the business owners. They said like, hey, like just put a pricing page and I'll pay for it. They were like pulling the product out of me, not me pushing it to them.
Smart.
So yeah, I mean, after that tweet, I think I was gonna go bankrupt if I didn't like put a pricing page and like limit the usage.
Yeah.
So I put, I think, a pricing page probably a day after.
Okay.
I just like put something. And then I remember like 2 hours or like 2 hours and 10 minutes after I put the pricing page without saying anything, I got my first sale.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how much was the sale?
It was $10 a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then from there, how did you get your first like $10,000 in revenue? Was it all for free, or at that point did you start paying for marketing?
No, like because I didn't have money to spend. Like even with like $10 was such a bad, like it was very low. Like it would just I was so stupid too because I didn't like come up with like a pricing strategy. I just like came up with a number and I came up with like a number of messages they can send and said like, yeah, this looks good, and I put it on. But then I realized that I was even losing money. If the person used like the whole like all of their credits, I would be losing money.
Oh.
So I was still losing money even after I put that because I wasn't thinking. Like everything was moving so fast.
Yeah.
But then I think like maybe a month or two after the API was launched, they just like cut the price like to like 1/10 OpenAI. So suddenly like my pricing actually made sense.
Because they
cut
the API cheaper.
Yeah, they made it so much cheaper.
That's funny.
So I mean, I was lucky. I mean, like I was gonna, because I didn't know like what to do, right? Like I've never ran a business. Like, hey, can I just say like instead of $10 you're gonna pay $100? Is that legal even? I didn't know. And like what happens to everyone, even if I do it for the new customers, what happens to the people already?
No grandfathering, nothing.
I didn't know like the term grandfathering, right? I didn't know anything. So yeah, like I was lucky when they cut the price. Yeah.
And so how do you go from that then to figuring out pricing?
I mean, I don't think I still have it figured out. I know I'm not losing money at least.
Okay, that's good.
So that's good. We have healthy like margins, but I think like similar companies having similar products are charging way, way more than us. And I think that's probably a good idea if you're doing enterprise.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I have like pricing figured out. I mean, I want to have something that is very friendly to like smaller companies and like startups and developers.
Yeah.
I think a company that does this very well is Vercel. They have like a very cheap plan.
Yeah.
And they also like have a lot of enterprise customers.
They do, yeah.
And I think Supabase is also doing that. So that's what I want to build. I want to have something that is easy to get into, like not too like overwhelming, but it grows with you as your company grows.
And a lot of companies, when they're selling to enterprises, they have like really built out like go-to-market motions, like sales motions, like LinkedIn outreach, cold emails. Are you doing any of that, or is it like
no, zero?
Still to this day.
Yeah.
So
now it's just like a self-serve. We don't even have a contact us button on the website.
So where does the 500K come from?
From like a lot of people that are paying me like between $40 and $500 a month.
So you're telling me there's no like really big contracts. There's no like, 3 whales.
I mean, I have one that like a company like emailed me like 6 times because they needed like a few customized things. So like we did it.
Okay.
But we don't have like any outbound. I don't even do like, we don't have a contact us button to set up calls. I want to do that. So my next step is to do a sales motion.
Nice.
But right now it's just self-serve product-led growth.
And by product-led growth, are you doing SEO or are you doing Twitter? Like if you were to look at like your attribution, where does the majority of the revenue come from?
I mean, in the beginning, it was just Twitter.
Sure.
Because like so when I posted about Chatbase, I just did like the build in public thing where you just post every update.
Yeah, 100%.
And
that works really well. Even today, it still works well.
Yeah, like if you're like smart about it and you don't frame it as selling, you frame it as like, hey, like I'm this startup founder and I'm sharing my journey. This is how you do it, and like you want to have a personality. You don't want to be too boring, but you also want to like provide value to other founders. And because Chatbase is like my customers are founders and like people at like startups and other companies, so it works well. But the downside is you get a lot of copycat. Like it was like so stressful. I can like go into like what happened in the early days.
What happened?
When I started like doing the like build in public and all of that.
Everyone was just ripping your company.
Yeah, I mean, it was so stressful because I knew I had an idea, a good idea. I didn't have to do like any market research or anything because it was just so obvious that you can like build ChatGPT for your data and it's gonna work. Actually, like maybe it wasn't too obvious because I applied to a bunch of like startup programs and I didn't get accepted.
They said no?
Idea. They said no.
Oh no.
But I had like, I don't know why, I had the background, like I did like cool internships and I had the technical skills and like the idea was good.
Yeah.
But maybe it wasn't too obvious, but for me it was obvious that like ChatGPT for your data is like something valuable.
Certainly.
So yeah, I knew like I need to move fast because in my head in the beginning, it's like, if another person does this before me, then that's it. Like this idea is taken and you can't do a taken idea, which is like very wrong,
true, yeah.
not true. But I didn't know that. It's just like, oh, this person did like the AI avatar stuff. This person did like the interior AI.
I remember literally like these exact apps. Everyone was just doing
it.
Yeah.
And like I know like
Aragon and
Aragon,
photos. And they were all like somehow all of them were making 100K a month.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't need to be the only person in the market. But I didn't know that. I thought like, oh, this idea is taken. I have to find something else. So in my head, when I saw the opportunity to build like the ChatGPT for your data like product, I knew I need to move fast. And I just like, I think I built it in like 2 months. Like it was just like a landing page, upload a document and then chat with it. Mm-hmm. And then the other side, you can share that chatbot to other people. And that's how I did like the Paul Graham chatbot or like the Naval chatbot.
And so did it grow from people making their own chatbots and sharing it around?
So I got people to open Chatbase and like the Chatbase domain to get domain authority from me like just spamming it everywhere. and like just providing value for free. And then if someone is intrigued, like, hey, maybe I can build something similar, then they would just click one button, go to like the landing page, and then they learn how to build like a similar chatbot.
And so that's what you mean by PLG, like product-led growth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, like so when I was doing all of that, I would do like the build in public stuff, and then posting on Reddit is fine because people that are looking at it are not founders, so like they're not gonna copy you.
Yeah.
But posting on X is the problem, right?
Everyone's
because you're just posting to like thousands of founders. Probably most of them have more experience than me because I mean, I was 23. I was just graduated. This was my first company. So like like someone else that had like a previous company would see this, build something maybe more like robust, and then they would, in my head, they would just win, and like I would lose.
And like, how much revenue did you basically get to when you were just doing Twitter?
We got to like 1 million very fast, million
ARR.
a year, yeah.
So you got to 80K MRR.
83K, yeah. Like I think 4 months in after,
4 months
after
in,
the launch.
off of just Twitter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because like, but it was working, so I just like
just kept doing it.
I mean, I was doing the Reddit stuff, but the Reddit stuff was not like they were not converting as well because I was not pushing the product. I was just pushing like
the usage
of the product, and then just to like get traffic on the website and like make it.
People hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And how big was your team when you were doing 1 million off a million ARR off of just Twitter?
Oh, it was just like me and one of my friends that like joined me part time.
Just one of the homies part time.
Yeah, just that.
Are they still with you today?
Yeah. I mean, one of my best friends. His name was Mustafa. He's. Nice. I just asked him like, hey, do you want to help me with this? He said yes. He was in the beginning. He was part time, and then it was like too much for one person.
Yeah.
Like so, in the beginning, I told you like all of this was in my last year of university, right? So I was still doing. Like I had classes.
This was like 2 years ago now?
Yeah, okay. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So I had classes. I mean, I technically dropped out to build Chatbase.
Oh, so you don't have a diploma?
So the thing is, like at York, there's like a 4-year degree and a 3-year degree. I was doing the 4-year degree.
Okay.
But then when I started Chatbase, I like stopped doing anything related to university. Sure. So I
opted in for the 3-year.
I mean, I was trying to just like pass exactly, but I ended up failing.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I mean, it's worth it now. It's
yeah,
fun,
100%.
Yeah. But so I had to graduate with a 3-year degree, just because I was like building Chatbase.
Degree is a degree.
Yeah, I mean it works.
How many people are on the team now?
14.
14.
Yeah.
When did you go from like 2 to 14?
I mean, I think I did it too slow. I think so. In the beginning, as I said, like my plan was to get to 10K, live happily ever after in Bali. Yeah. But when I saw that this is like why stop here, right? Like I can build something big. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like you create a legacy, right? If you build something big. Also, like no one, like I can break the record. Like now I can break the records for like the 0 to 100 million ARR bootstrapped company.
Oh, you're right.
So, and I'm already like past the hard part. Like just getting from 0 to 1 is like the hardest part.
Certainly.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't hire fast enough because I didn't have the vision that that's what I want to do. In my head, it's like a cute project. And like, it's not me, it's also like everyone else in the industry, right?
Yeah.
Like when I started this, when I posted on X, most of the comments were positive.
A lot of ChatGPT
A lot
rappers.
of it was ChatGPT rapper, which is, I agree, it was a ChatGPT rapper, 100%.
Yeah.
But like everything else is a rapper, right? Like
everything is a rapper.
Every startup on day one is like a rapper of something because it's only day one.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're a rapper, but like we're a thick rapper, right? Like we just added more stuff around the AI. I was new to this, and everyone that I thought was smarter than me, like people that have been doing startups for a long time, all people that are older than me, were mostly saying the same thing, which is ChatGPT rapper. It's cool that you're making. Yeah, it's cool that you're making like a few dollars here and there. Like good for you for starting something. But like start looking for a job because this is not gonna work.
Every ChatGPT, like every day they had the developer day.
Yeah.
This
was like
you just get stressed.
Yeah, it was insane because so 2 things were very stressful. Every OpenAI launch was like just like me and all of the team just like racing for impact. Like are we gonna get killed today? Because in the beginning, as I told you, like it's chat with your PDF, which like was 100% like coming to ChatGPT, and it ended up coming.
It did, yeah.
So,
didn't someone else make a bunch of money off of making a chat with PDF plugin?
Yeah.
Onto ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like very hard to like, I don't know what they're doing now, but probably not good.
Yeah.
So like there was some merit to like the comments that says this is a ChatGPT wrapper, and I knew that like it's gonna happen. Like it's such an obvious use case to like upload stuff to ChatGPT and make it more useful. So I knew like I need to pivot to something that has like more stuff around the AI itself. So like that's why I went to customer support. It's like for a bunch of reasons, but biggest one is like my customers are companies and they have money to spend. And I can like reach them because I'm doing all of this build in public stuff. So it's easier for me to market to them.
Yeah, because they can look at you and they trust you instantly because they see all the followers and they see all the history of you building the company.
Exactly. If I'm selling to like a random audience, like people that are like students or like any random audience, it's like everything I'm doing in build in public is not that useful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sell to companies, and they were like, as I told you, they were like pulling the product out of me.
Yeah.
So I was pushed to be a B2B company doing like customer support. And then the last part is that customer support has enough like meat around the AI itself.
Yeah.
Where you're not just a thin ChatGPT wrapper. It's not a system prompt. There's like much more to it than that. There's like an analytics, like a full ticketing system, like processes, when to escalate, how to escalate to humans, human in the loop, when to issue a refund, what's the whole process. It's like so much. And that's what I think people should do if they're trying to build like a ChatGPT wrapper or like something in that vertical, is to have like, you can't be just like system prompt. You have to be more than that.
But then my question is, once you make the shift of like, I'm going from a consumer product to B2B, why didn't you then go raise venture funding the way everyone else does when they decide to go B2B?
I think mainly because I didn't have time. That's the honest reason. I mean, like customers, like I was in my last year of school, I was failing 2 classes. Customers were calling me at like 3 a.m. like saying your product is broken. And I would wake up at 3 a.m. like realize my card failed. So like my OpenAI didn't get their money. So like the API is not working anymore.
Oh no.
And so customers are streaming at me. I'm failing my classes. Investors are calling me also, like they want to invest. And I'm trying to find people to hire. And in the early days, like I didn't know how to hire. So like it wasn't easy to do that. And I would just like go out with my friends with my laptop because I didn't like, the website was not robust at all.
Oh, you mean like you'd go hang out with your friends?
Yeah, like with my laptop. Yeah, like I would go to a restaurant with my laptop because I would like keep refreshing Chatbase, make sure it's online and it's working. And this was like for like 3 or 4 months of like stress, because like that stress came from 3 things, like everyone shouting at me, the investors, the customers, all of that. And then me being scared about the comments that this is a ChatGPT wrapper, there's no future. A big company is going to do the same thing, which made me like put a lot of effort into thinking what would be my next step, which was good because thank God I didn't just stay a PDF ChatGPT thing. And then the last thing was all the copycats and not even copycats, because the idea is obvious. Like I can't claim that this is my idea. Like of course it was going to happen. But I would panic when people were copying it. People were buying like chatbase.xyz and like chatbase.co.br, all of that.
.co.br.
And it's like the same. I think there was like an extension where you copy like the landing page and then they copy the pricing page. It's just like, and they put my video, like I did a screen recording of Chatbase.
Yeah.
They would take that video and put it in their product. And
so how do you get rid of that?
Because it looked exactly the same.
You sue them? You send cease and desist?
No, like you just like keep going. Like, there's nothing to do. Like I think it's like not worth your time to.
Dude, this is the most wholesome podcast I think. Dude, just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no point in like, and also like other than those people, there were like legit companies or like legit founders doing something similar, because it's a good idea. So why wouldn't you do it? And like it was fairly easy to do.
Okay.
So I would see like 3-time founders doing something similar, and I would panic a lot. Like it was a lot of panicking, like the first 3 or 4 months. Too much panicking, too much not knowing what's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, over time, I were able to hire people. So I
that's
had
good.
I didn't have to take my laptop to restaurants anymore.
We do like that.
And I got more revenue. So I was not like scared to hire people, you know? And I realized that like as I added more features and like as I went more B2B, I'm more safe. Like the company's not going to close
you
tomorrow.
built your moat.
Yeah. Because moat is what? Moat is just like the amount of work you put in your company. It's just like any other software company. Like what's the moat? It's just software that like anyone can write React code. There's no moat. But it's just like the amount of effort you put in, like the execution, the UI, UX, the customer support, all of that is your moat.
Yeah.
And once you have like a good stable product with all of these parts that are stable, then you'll get less anxious, right? You can sleep at night.
I'm glad you're sleeping.
Yeah,
at night.
now I'm sleeping at night. Yeah.
But so then today, now that you're not, you in your first year of building the company, why don't you now go raise $10 million to light on fire with offices and paid ads?
I mean, I'm not against VC.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's you probably need it for like a lot of companies, but I don't think you need it for AI SaaS companies where you're just like building a website at the end of the day. Like just use Cursor or something. Like you don't need a lot of developers. You don't need a lot of anything.
Sure. And you're not doing any paid ads right now.
I am now. I have the money to spend. Now I'm using I'm paying a lot to Google Ads because I have I didn't. So I'll tell you, in the beginning I didn't raise because I didn't have time to like pursue investors and like build like my pitch deck and all of that because I already had customers like screaming at me. So like my first priority was to
make them stop streaming.
Yeah, exactly. Make them stop streaming, build them the product they need. And then maybe I'll raise after. But when I did that, more customers came in, I got more revenue. And then like why would I raise, Like I already have the revenue, company is growing.
You don't think that the added money would help you grow faster? Or you're saying you have all the money you need to grow as fast as you want? No, I think if I had money, of course, like I would have hired sales maybe a year ago. But I think not doing VC actually helped me in a way that is not expected, which now I have like a unique story a little bit. Now I'm doing this podcast, right? Like if I was a 6 million ARR company that raised like 6 million, then it's not as cool, it's cool, but it's You just took a shot at half the people listening.
No, it's cool, but it's people do it all the time, right?
100%. And there's merit in that too.
Yeah. So now I'm able to stand out a bit more because like it's something unique. And now I have a goal where I want to be like the first, not the first because I think it happened, but
one of the first.
Yeah, like I think only like 3 or 4 companies did it with zero investment, but most of them took like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I want to do it in before I turn 30, which is like in 3 years or 4 years.
In 3 or 4 years, you want to get to 100 million ARR.
100 million ARR, yeah.
Very interesting. And then, when you are now thinking about like where you're going to go from here, right? It doesn't sound like you want to raise money tomorrow, but your company is still growing. What are you looking at doing in the next 3 years to hit that big number? Yeah, I mean, I learned that to get to 100 million, you probably need some enterprise motion. Mm-hmm. When I say enterprise, like mid-market maybe is good enough, but like higher contract value than like $500 a month, that's not gonna work unless you have like 50,000 customers, which is you can do, but it's gonna take more time. So now my plan is to stay like focused on PLG growth. I don't want to lose that. I want to be like very easy to use, self-serve, like very friendly to like new developers or like new companies and all of that, but also have like a strong sales motion to like mid-market companies and even enterprise because it's the same product. Like when I talk to them, most of like their requests are things I can add. Most of it's like not about the product itself, but like how you use the product. So like some access control stuff, some compliance stuff, some of that, but the core product itself is the same. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to like lose. Maybe it does if you want to like have the image that you're an enterprise, like you're only working with enterprise, and maybe that works. But what I want to build is something more like I would use myself, and I use stuff that are like easy to use, that are good UX, good UI. And you are not an enterprise. I mean, yeah, I'm not an enterprise exactly. I don't need to talk to someone to use it. Yeah. I just like click a button and use it.
And that's what I want to build because that's what I would use.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you ever like get into arguments with your team? Do you ever have people on your team who are pushing you to go more enterprise and to like, build more that way, or is everyone on your team pretty aligned?
I mean, we argue, but not about that stuff. We argue like mostly about technical stuff, which I mean, you have, because most of them are engineers.
Yeah.
But no, I think we're very aligned on like what we want to achieve. Like, I think the goal is to get to 100 million in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And to do that, we know that we need to not lose like our current customers and also like expand to enterprise customers and move up market, have a sales motion, do outbound, all of the B2B SaaS stuff.
How are you running your team right now? Do you have like a Monday stand-up, Friday stand-up?
We have a Monday stand-up. We only have like 2 meetings. We tried one, but it was not enough, I think. It's remote, and the rest of the days they just like send a Slack message with like what everyone is doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing when running like I don't know, I'm trying to be a good manager, but the hardest thing is to make like, I think the person I'm hiring, most of them have like the same personality trait, which is like they're very, I don't want to say obsessed, but they care a lot about the product.
Sure.
And when that happens, you voice all of your opinions and like you fight for them. And when that happens too much, it kind of like slows everything down because everyone is like, because they care a lot.
Like fighting over every little thing.
Yeah, like every meeting would take like 3 hours because this person wants to say something, this person wants to say something, because like they're very passionate about like.
And you just got 14 people going at each other.
Yeah, I mean, and you're just screaming at each other. I mean, it's not screaming, but like just passionately arguing,
Yeah.
But it's a good thing because you care about like what you're building.
Certainly.
But at the same time, you need some like executive decision power, know, like just like we're gonna do this, guys, like just.
You gotta veto something.
Yeah, exactly.
So who are like your mentors in all of this? Like who are you going to for advice?
Well, I mean, I'm asking O3 advice all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. So now because I don't have investors.
Yeah.
So I think like that some of the things that I'm missing of not having investors is like some of the mentorship and advice stuff. But I think it's not too bad because in the beginning I couldn't just like message anyone on X and like ask them questions. But now it's like easier because like when you build something cool, like interesting people want to talk to you, like it's easier to get interesting people to help you. So I just send a message, and like most of the people that are successful like want to help like younger founders. So I think it's like if you don't like take 3 hours or like if you don't like ask a very hard question or like just like ask a simple question over X, most of the people reply, right? Some of them, they ask me like, hey, if you want to like get more into this, I'm going to get on a like 15-minute call with you. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what I do now is like just reach out to people and ask them questions. The other thing I'm missing with like the not doing VC is maybe I'm not going as fast as I can. Like if I get VC money, I can go faster. But every day, like as the revenue goes up, the bottleneck becomes less how much money I have and more like what I'm going to do with that money. Like right now, I think the bottleneck is more execution. Like if I have like 100 million in my bank because I raised, I still would have mostly the same problems, which is like, who do I hire? Well, like what's the strategy? Like how do we work together and all of that, which I think that's more of the bottleneck now for growth rather than like the money. But yeah, I mean, I reach out to people. Most of them are helpful. I have a few people that I talk to regularly, and that's nice. And I think actually like ChatGPT is actually very good.
Okay, what's your prompt? Because I'm not gonna lie, I've tried talking to ChatGPT, being like, okay, here's my situation, what would you do? And then I read it and I'm like, I just wasted 5 minutes.
Because you don't like, I think
maybe I don't know how to prompt.
No, it's not about the prompt. It's about like you give up maybe quickly. Okay. Because I used to like just ask a question, read the answer, it's not good. Then it's not good. Yeah. But then I would like just hammer it. Like, why did you say, are you stupid? Like I would just be rude to it and then
you just verbally abuse the AI.
Exactly. I mean, it works sometimes, but you have to do like the hot and cold treatment, like just say thank you and then like shout at it a few times.
We're talking about an AI.
I mean, that's what's working for me. But you just have to put effort. It's as if you're talking to someone, like you don't get the first answer and then leave it. Yeah. You have to like dig deep and ask like every detail in the answer to like get to something useful.
I was talking to one of my friends 2 weeks ago because I saw him get really good at like, he was just building a new thing every single day, And I was like, oh, what changed? He was like, oh, I switched to Claude. And I was like, oh, is it really that much better? He's like, yeah, every time it gives me the wrong answer, I just tell him I tell it that I'm gonna commit bodily harm to myself.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
that gives it the right answer.
Yeah, I imagine that works.
And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess if it works.
I'm not that extreme, but I do something similar.
That's funny. So now I'm gonna ask you the question I ask everyone at the end of these episodes, which is, if we were to do this podcast again in a year, what would you have want to accomplish by then to consider the past year a success?
Yeah, so this, like 2025, I'm trying to get to $1 million a month in ARR. So a year from now, I should be like, the revenue number would be like 1.5 or something, or maybe more in MRR. I want to have a larger team. I want to do stuff that enterprise company or like VC-backed startups are doing. I want to have like billboards of Chatbase in San Francisco.
Yeah.
No, I have to.
You have to. You're here now.
Yeah. If I live here, then yeah, of course I'm gonna do that. I wanna like have like strong outbound motion sales team. I wanna build like a good culture in the company, because that's not easy to do.
Certainly.
I mean, I want people to have fun. I don't want to be annoying. Like I don't like to. I want people to work hard because they enjoy working hard and like they like what they're doing.
100%.
And I think it's easier to do that if it's a small company.
100%.
If you hire more people, it's harder to like align the culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's like, if we get to like 30 people, I want to make sure that, like, I don't know, if I take a vacation, like I didn't take a vacation for 2 years because like the company is dependent on you, right?
You did all this to go live in Bali and like live a good life, and now you're not taking a vacation.
Live in Bali. It's so bad.
It's so bad, bro.
Yeah.
You failed.
I failed.
You failed. Why'd you do any of this?
Goal. But yeah, I want to like I want to like have trust that like if I like something happens to me or something and like I can't work for like a month or two, everything is gonna go smoothly and like people are gonna do their job as best as they can, as if I was there and like just have a company, because now it's good to be like in founder mode and like be part of the details and know everything that's happening. That's what I do. But if the company is dependent on you, like people cannot do their work unless they have to talk to you, then it's not like a company, it's like a project, right? Yeah. It's like if it's a company, then you can remove yourself and you have trust in people to do their job. Of course, you're gonna come back, maybe some stuff are not exactly as you like, but for the most part, if you hire like people that you trust and they know what they're building, it shouldn't be too bad, yeah.
All right, man. Well, good luck with that, and thanks for coming on the episode.
Thank you for having me.
We finally made it happen. Good stuff.